Gospel Stories, Book of John.
Subscribe to our channel to receive more content like this.
The Gospel of John. A story unlike any other. A story of light breaking through darkness, of love that knows no limits, and of a man who changed the course of history. John, a fisherman turned disciple, wrote this book to show us one thing, that Jesus was not just a teacher or a prophet, he was the Son of God. It all begins with a bold declaration. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. John tells us that Jesus is the very expression of God, the light that shines in the darkness, and from the very start, that light begins to change lives. The first miracle. A wedding runs out of wine, a potential disaster for the hosts. But Jesus, at his mother's request, turns water into wine, his first sign that he is no ordinary man. Then comes a deep conversation under the stars. Nicodemus, a religious leader, is curious. Jesus tells him, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life." These words become the heartbeat of John's Gospel: love, sacrifice, salvation. Then Jesus breaks tradition. He speaks to a Samaritan woman, an outcast. He tells her about living water, a source that never runs dry. She runs to tell everyone, and an entire village believes in him. John's Gospel is full of moments like this. Jesus heals the sick, gives sight to the blind, and even raises the dead. But with every miracle, the opposition grows. The religious leaders fear him. They see his power. They see the crowds following him, and they decide he must be stopped. Before his greatest trial, Jesus performs his most astonishing miracle. His friend Lazarus has been dead for 4 days. Martha, in tears, says, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Jesus responds, "I am the resurrection and the life." Then he calls into the tomb, "Lazarus, come out." And to everyone's shock, he does. But the time has come. At the Last Supper, Jesus kneels and washes his disciples' feet, showing them that true greatness comes from serving others. Betrayed, arrested, put on trial. The same people who once welcomed him into Jerusalem with palm branches now shout, "Crucify him!" Jesus is crucified. The sky turns dark, and with his final breath he says, "It is finished." 3 days later, the unthinkable happens. The stone is rolled away. The tomb is empty. Jesus is alive. He appears to his followers, proving that death has no power over him. And to doubting Thomas, he says, "Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed." John ends his story with this: "These things are written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name." And that is the Gospel of John, a story of love, sacrifice, and the greatest hope the world has ever known.